Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm the Last Wanderer, and today I've got a new, simple and easy design for a sugarcane farm to show today. Now, as you can probably tell, this sugarcane farm is not like any other design. For one, it makes use of honey block flying machines, which aren't very common, and despite the fact that it uses flying machines, there are no hopper minecarts in this farm at all. The reason honey blocks are used in flying machines instead of slime blocks is because unlike honey blocks, slime blocks launch entities, which is no good for this farm design. Instead, we use the honey blocks because they do not launch entities. And by adding carpet in front of the honey blocks, we can actually catch the falling sugarcane. While the carpet is really good at catching most of the sugarcane, unfortunately, when the sugarcane item is spawned, it's given random momentum. And, in some very rare cases, it can actually move too far to one side, and the carpet will not be able to pick it up. So this farm isn't 100% efficient. However, it does catch around 93% of the sugarcane. So yeah, quick disclaimer, this is not the most efficient sugarcane farm out there. This is just supposed to be simple, and lag and resource efficient. The flying machine I talked about earlier is this thing right here, which you can see in this simple finished design. This sugarcane farm here is a modular design. This simple setup has only two modules, each with its own flying machine. As you can see here, this is expandable. This design over here has 6 modules, but it's technically infinitely expandable, as long as you can load all the chunks. At the end of each row, the flying machine will dump all of its items into these hoppers, reducing lag, since you don't need a ton of hopper minecarts for hoppers, and then it can launch the next flying machine, which allows this farm to be even more lag efficient, as you won't have numerous flying machines spawn at the same time. One more thing you should be careful of is to not unload the flying machines as they're flying, because this can sometimes break the farm. Although this is rare and I've not been able to recreate it. But that is most of the important explanations you need to know about this farm. Now onto the tutorial. The redstone clock. You'll need a redstone block, 2 hoppers, 3 dust, 2 comparators, 4 repeaters, 6 50 pistons, 1 slab, a lever, bunch of blocks, and if you want to add a second flying machine, you'll need 2 observers, a note block, and 2 powered rail. You'll also need to fill the hoppers with 5 stacks of items, so just 5 filler items, like kelp. For the flying machines, you'll need 8 honey blocks, 3 blocks, 4 carpet, and 3 observers for each flying machine. You'll also need some more blocks, 2 trapdoors, 4 observers, and some more rails for each flying machine's port. And just for general on the farm, you'll need a lot of sugarcane, a lot of water, some composters. Those are optional though. A bunch of stairs and slabs. Some of those are optional though. Some chests to store your drops in. A lot of hoppers. A lot of blocks. I'm using glass just for demonstrational purposes. Leaves or other non-movable blocks like obsidian or glazed terracotta. And then some blocks to place your sugarcane on, like coarse dirt, grass, or podzol. Sand or red sand will not work in this farm. Now you want to start by making 2 strips of blocks that are each 2 blocks apart, and then make them as long as you want. Once you've gotten your sugarcane strips to be as long as you want them to, add another set of blocks here, and then punch out the blocks on this end for this strip. And if you want to hold in the water now, just place in stairs like this at each end, so that the sugarcane will have a waterlogged block next to them, but no water will leak out. And if you want the farm to be perfectly flat, just add another set of slabs down here. For over here, you can just simply curve your stairs so the water can be held in without any of it leaking. And just do that for both sets of strips. If you're going to tile the farm though with multiple modules, the next module will go here. So you can simply curve the stairs this way, and then add slabs the rest of the way. But that's only if you're making multiple modules. Once you've prepared the area for your water, you can just go ahead and put that in, waterlog the blocks, or if you didn't use waterloggable blocks, just place your water in normally, and make sure it's on both sides of the strip so you can put the sugarcane on all of these blocks. Now fill in the entire middle strip with leaves, and 2 back on each of your rows of sugarcane. When you're finished, your area should look like this. Now just go onto each end, even it out, and extend it so it looks like that. And the same thing on the other side. Then, where there's no leaves, just bring out your other block. It can be transparent, it can be solid, whatever you want, and just bring it all the way down on both sides. Now the farm should be looking like this. So just go down, get out your hoppers and your chest. Wherever you want your items to go, just put the chest there, and loop the hoppers around the leaves like this. And the same for the other side. Now that your hoppers are in, put a normal block at the end of the hopper lines, and fill the entire rest of the space with your non-movable block. And do this for both sides. And then place your normal block on top of this whole row. With that done, you can now put in your flying machine. Put 4 carpets in this pattern. And then take 4 honey blocks, put them like this, and like that to get these 2 different L shapes. Put in the sticky pistons later so you don't accidentally launch it, and then put in your observers like this, and place a trapdoor in this observer's face. Now you can place your top blocks on the flying machine. Over here, you can put an observer. You could instead put your observer on the right side of the flying machine if you're going to build your next module to the right. Now we can fill in the rest of the blocks at this end, and put composters over the hoppers where honey blocks wouldn't touch them. So these 3 can all have composters on top of them. We need to leave these 2 hoppers empty in case any sugarcane gets caught in the middle section. And just put blocks around them like so. And there. Also do the same thing on the other side. And make sure you have your trapdoor where this observer would be. With your trapdoors in place, you can put in your sticky pistons for the flying machine. And fill this entire middle section with more non-movable blocks with leaves. And go up 1 here and put in any block of your choice. It's important to note, if you're tiling this design, you'll need your next block that can support sugarcane up here. So your module will either look like the one on the left if you're going to put another row of sugarcane above, or the one on the right if this is the top row. And once you're finished with that, you can just go in and put your sugarcane down for both rows. And your final module without the redstone circuitry should look like this. Now it's time to add in the clock that controls this farm. Remove this block here, place a block out here, put a repeater here, put a sticky piston block, sticky piston, and you need 4 sticky pistons in a row like this. Put blocks on them, add in repeaters, put a redstone dust here, block on it, slab here, block here, and then you need some comparators on it, and put 2 hoppers between them. This is just a standard etho hopper clock. The redstone dust up here, sticky pistons, a redstone block, and a lever to flick the farm on and off. Once you flick that lever on, put your block here, and then fill up this hopper with 5 stacks of items. Now, if you want your farm to be just a single module, you'll have to find some way to get this pulse here all the way over the trapdoor at the other end. However, it becomes a lot easier if you add in a second module. Now, if you add in a second module, it'll be exactly the same as the first, except you can share this dividing wall between them, and the flying machine has to start on the other side. Now, if you do add a second module in, you can put it on either side of it, doesn't really matter. But I chose to put it on the left side, you can put it on the right. Once you have your second module in place, you can go over here, add a note block, an observer, then hit 3 blocks like this, and put another observer here, and fill this in with powered rails. This circuit here ensures that a flying machine will always be sent out, but in order to get them to return, you have to come over here, find where the observer of the flying machine will power, and put a solid block there. Now, since I'm going to be updating this trapdoor, I'm just going to quickly add another block here to prevent the flying machine from moving, and then we wire it up like this. Observer, and some rails, and then we need an upwards facing observer here. And just break this block. And this is now wired up. And then come over here, same thing. Rails, observer, block. And this time you need the observer over here. Now, just quickly update this rail to fix the flying machine. And these 2 modules will now work. If you want to give it a quick test, just quickly power this block. If you want to add in a third module, it's pretty similar to how you added in one before. You want the flying machine to be the opposite side of the one that's already existing, and to hook it up, just find out where this observer is going to output, right here, grab some rails, and make sure it powers the trapdoor. Like this. You can just put a block here since no other rails will be going next to this. And do the same for the other side. Since we already have rails sticking out for this thing, we can just hook up to this. And be careful not to launch your flying machine by accident too soon. And just remove that block that stopped it from flying. And that's how you hook up a third module. If you want to add in a module vertically, it's really simple. You can actually integrate the floor of your next module into the floor of the one below it, like this, which gives you this over here. And wiring up is just simple, but as you can see here, the flying machine is on the opposite side yet again. This time the direction of the observer is flipped, since if you add another module in, it'll be over here. So to wire it up, just find where the observer is going to be, and get out your rails. And put your observer above the trapdoor. And that side's all hooked up. Just make sure the flying machine can't fly on this side. Just place any block in front of it since it's at push limit. Your observer, of course, is always next to where the hopper is going to be. So place down your rails. Get your observer. Actually, we can just put that over here. And as always, just put the the observer above the trapdoor. Remove your temporary block. And that's finished as well. I'm not going to show you how to hook up every module since it's really repetitive. You've probably gotten the idea by now, but when you're finished, you'll probably have something like the design I showed at the very beginning. So, the very last thing for you to do is flick this lever and turn your farm on. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, consider checking out some of my previous videos, including my resettable instant death button and my better piglin bartering farm. And make sure to come back next time for my next video, my new shulker box storage system prototype. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.